What's good? How y'all doing this evening? Welcome back to the Forever I Love Atlanta Sports Podcast. It's your boy the Don with my co-host the King.
What's
What's
good,
good,
Don? How
man?
you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good.
Another
All
day.
right, that's what's up. So we brought back on a special guest. He was on the Don's favorite edition. We talked about um
Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles. I'm sorry, man. Brain fart. Sorry. This is what happened. You don't eat dinner before the show. But we talked about Todd Bowles, why he should be the next head coach of the Atlanta Falcons a couple of months ago, and I said that we'll bring him back on when we talk Falcons versus Bucks, and here he is. Ren, once again, let everybody know who you are, where they can find you.
Sure. Thanks for having me on, guys. I co-host a show called the Pewter Cast. There it is. We are a fan-generated podcast that we stream live on YouTube, on Twitter, on our website, Pewtercast Live. There's one I'm missing on Facebook as well, and then we also grab the audio and throw it out on all the podcast apps out there, Podbean, of course, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, all those. They're out there. We've been doing it for about 5 years. We have over a 500,000 downloads and 500 episodes in our bank. So, yeah, we like to say we're not football experts, but we are expert football fans.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
I like it. I like it.
Yes. All right. Thank you for coming on again, man.
Of course.
If you're new to the channel, you already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Also, hit that like button. Share this content out with other Atlanta sports fanatics. And hit us up in the comment section. As always, come holler at your hometown sports podcast. All right. Now, let's talk about this game that's going on, the last game of the season. The Falcons will be going down there to Tampa Bay to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last game of the season. Right now we're 4-11. Don't know how we're gonna favor this matchup, but let's talk about the last game we played against the Bucks. The Bucks won this game 31-27. Matt Ryan, he went 34 for 49, 356 yards, 3 touchdowns. We know we only ran the ball 12 times to 21 yards. Now Calvin Ridley, he had 10 receptions, 163 yards, 1 touchdown. Hayden Hurst, 4 receptions, 21 yards, 1 touchdown. Russell Gage, 5 receptions, 68 yards, and 1 touchdown. And we know both Neesman and Dion both got a sack in that game. Now, the kicker of that game, everything was working well all the way for us up to that third quarter. Tampa Bay, they scored 21 points in the third quarter. 21 points in the third quarter. All right. Now, Ren, talk to me about that game on the Buck side.
Sure. The Bucks, and something I've been saying on our show for a long time, is that they've been having trouble starting off fast. And the reason they were having trouble starting off fast was because they couldn't, the defensive game plan and the offensive game plan they came out with, script the first 15 plays on offense, and this is the way we're going to attack, any team's offense, had been bad for weeks. You can just go back to the Rams game. You can watch the Saints game, which everyone watched on prime time, where they came out and did soft zone and try to rush 4 against Drew Brees, and next thing we knew it was 31-0. Rams game was also prime time. They didn't bring any pressure on Goff, and everyone knows when Goff gets pressured, he's a totally different quarterback. Like, the Rams are nearly unbeatable. If you don't put any pressure on Goff, you put pressure on Goff, he folds like a cheap suit, and the Bucs decided not to do that. So seeing the Bucs defensive game plan and offensive game plan not work for the first half was nothing new to Bucs fans. But of all the games where they looked bad, I think collectively, and this isn't a shot at you guys, but collectively Bucs fans were like, we can still win this at halftime. Like, we can still win this. And it has a lot to do with, the Falcons defense, especially the first half of the year, was going on a historically bad pace. The Buccaneers have Tom Brady, and they have Mike Evans, and they have Antonio Brown, and they have Chris Godwin, and Ronald Jones was not in that game. Not a big Leonard Fournette fan, but some people are. We had him and have him. Got Gronk at tight end, and we got a defense that has shown to flip the switch at different times during the game, even though they've started off bad. You can look at the Raiders game, you can look at the Packers game, you can look at the Chargers game, all those games where the defense just sort of all of a sudden woke up and started making some stops and getting some 3 and outs. So we felt good about it, and then the Bucs offense played like we think they've always should have been playing from week 1. Unrealistically, as fans, every time you touch the ball, you put it in the end zone, and the Buccaneers scored 7 times in a row against the Panthers, and they scored every single time they touched the ball against the Falcons. That first game they scored, except for when they knelt down. So every time in the second half they got the ball, they put points up on the board. Mostly were touchdowns. So we felt good about it. And I think for me personally, and this might be delving a little too deep as a general sort of what we feel as Bucs fans, but they finally found what to do with Devin White in pass coverage because he's an exciting. He might be the fastest front 7 player in all of the NFL. He's a very solid tackler. He can't cover worth a damn. I mean, he can't cover anybody. He has no feel for zone, 0 whatsoever. And on man, he keeps trying to punch the receiver, reroute them, but punch him like a tackle, and he keeps missing. So now he's in trail and facing the wrong way. And so if he wanted to complete a pass, like, where's 45? Okay, who's running the route against him? Throw it to that guy. So they came out of the break, after we had a week 13 bye after that Chiefs game. They came out of the break and they did it against Minnesota and they did it against you guys, and they play cat defense with White. Like, see the back, whoever the running back is, if it's a pass play, you have the running back. If he goes out the flat, you go out in the flat. If he stays in the block, go. And you saw it in the second half. He went 3 times, got 2 sacks and 1 a gimme. Matt Ryan fell down. He was the first one to touch him. But they continued that trend through this game against Detroit. That massacre on no fault to Detroit with, first off, they're not very good. They lost their quarterback for the first series, and offensive and defensive play callers had never called a play in the NFL game before. So the Bucs did what they should have done against Detroit in that game. But, what I like most about that Falcons game was sort of seeing 2 games in a row and solidifying what they're doing with Devin White and doing what he does best, which is go forward downhill really fast. And also the fringe benefit for that is hiding him in pass coverage.
Yeah. All right. Everybody in the chat, appreciate y'all joining us. Speed Falcons for life. Saying, no, I want this top 5 pick. I don't want to win. Why do you want to tank, man? I just don't get something.
Yeah.
Why do y'all want to tank? We want to win. Trust me. And we have yet to beat Tom Brady. It doesn't matter what uniform this man been in. We have yet to beat this man. I want to win Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't care about no draft pick. What's your take on that, game?
Because I don't care about it's. Well, let's rephrase it. Because I want Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
But I also want to win the game. Yeah, you come on here and I pick against the Falcons, but deep down, I want the Falcons to win. But you always got to think logically they might lose this game. So, but I want them to win.
Yeah, and sort of the last comment there in the live chat, Jansen Harris says Bucs don't even need this game. That's not true. If the Bucs get this,
y'all need this game. I was going to mention that. Y'all need this game to get in the playoffs.
No, we're in. But if we win this game, we get the 5th seed, which means we play the winner of the NFC East, whoever that ends up being.
Oh, easy road.
That's a breeze. That should be a breeze.
Exactly. So this is why Bucs fans want this game. Like, we want, okay, we're in the playoffs, haven't been in the playoffs in 13 years. Okay, well, now we want a playoff win. What's you want to take the path of least resistance.
That's true. And not only that, like, if y'all didn't eat this game, y'all be sitting Tom Brady and sending y'all starters. But, like, y'all actually going out, everybody's starting and everybody's playing. Y'all need this win more than anything. But, we also need this win too. So
Bruce Arians came out and said we're going to play. Plus, Mike Evans needs 40 yards to get 1,000 yards for 7 straight years to start a career. He's got 1,000 yards, and the 7th year, which is this year, he's 40 yards away, will be an all-time record, breaking Randy Moss's 6 years in a row, which he's tied with right now. And also, Ronald Jones is expected back this week, and if he gets 100 yards, he gets 1,000 yards. And the Bucs haven't had a 1,000 yards rusher since 2014. So there's some things to play for besides just that 5th spot. Bruce Arians actually came out after the game, the Detroit game, goes, yeah, we were like, Mike needed 221 yards in the next 2 games. And he's like, yeah, we were trying to get it all in the Detroit game. And they came up 40 yards short. So he had like 181 yards in that Detroit game. So there's things to play for. And like I said, the BA's already came out and said, no, we're playing. Now, if it happens, what happened last week with the Bucs versus Detroit, where, it's a blowout at halftime, everyone's coming out. If Mike has his 40 yards, he's coming out. Blaine Gabbert played the whole second half of that Detroit game, so Brady will come out. So yeah, I mean, the coaching staff isn't going to come out and say, hey, we want this game because we want the 5th seed and play the NFC East, because that's just going to piss those people off. They're saying we want to win this game because 11-5 looks better than 10-6. That's a bunch of crap. They want to win this game because they get the easiest game in the playoffs, week 1 in the playoffs.
If we beat y'all play Seattle.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not really sure. I'm not even. And again, like, if I say anything about that's disparaging or not glowing about the Falcons, I'm not sort of attacking you guys, but I'm not even the mindset we're going to lose this game. And,
it's a rivalry, man. Look, stop with the political correct stuff, man. This is a rivalry.
No,
right?
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to say things like there's no chance for the Falcons to win this game, which obviously isn't true. There is. But like, I'm like, my mindset is so far off of like, if the Bucs lose this game, I haven't even looked at those scenarios, because we're not going to lose this game because we're playing the Falcons.
Understood. Okay. So let me ask you something from a outside fan looking in. Matt Ryan, how has his play been this year?
Matt Ryan, to me, and again, like, I follow the Bucs so closely, it's almost criminal. Someone who doesn't get paid for this shouldn't follow this team this closely. So I don't have really a lot to, I don't really have a lot of time where I focus on other teams. And I do focus most, if I do, it's Panthers, Falcons, Saints, obviously. But for me, Matt Ryan's been Matt Ryan. He's going to throw for a lot of yards and he's put up a lot of points. And it's really not his fault that, the defense can't hold a lead. But then you could flip the coin over and go, well, but he's not scoring when he has to. But he's already put up 28. Like, it's like, and then there's always, it seems to be like quarterbacks of the ilk of like Ryan and Cousins in Minnesota and a couple other guys. It seemed like their interceptions just happen at the worst times. It's like, you cannot throw an interception there. And Matt Ryan seems to have 1 or 2 games every year where it's just like, this is like your 8th, 9th, 10th year. Like, you can't, that's a rookie, rookie contract throw. Like, what are you doing? But again, you guys have had getting banged up on defense, and Julio Jones has been in and out, and Matt Ryan, he's a top 10 quarterback like every year. He just is. So I mean, when you start your list of what's wrong with the Falcons, like, Matt Ryan ain't in the top 10.
What'd you say now?
If you make a list of, hey, this is how you fix the Falcons, like, by the time you get to Matt Ryan, you're out of the top 10 reasons what needs to be fixed.
All right, now here's my thing about, because you very familiar with Dirk Cutter, right?
Oh yeah.
All right, tell me your feelings.
How you guys like Ito Smith, huh?
Huh?
How you guys like Ito Smith?
Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah, Dirk Cutter will find a guy that gets less than 4 yards of carry and make him the focal point of his running attack.
But the question is, what running attack?
Yeah, exactly. He did the same thing with Peyton Barber. Like, is Gurley washed, or is he not getting enough opportunities?
He has an arthritic knee, though.
Okay, so he's washed.
Yeah, I would say that. No problem.
I don't know.
But it's also, yes, and it's you can play both sides. It's like a double-edged sword. All right, we know the issue with Gurley and his health, but you also know the history behind Dirk Cutter and his run game. He does not run the ball.
No.
He does not run the ball at all.
Mm-mm.
You have to establish the run. I understand, sometimes the talent that you have on the team is not good, but at the same time, you still have to try to establish some ground game.
Yeah. No, he panics early. As soon as he gets behind, he won't run the ball until he takes the lead.
Mm-hmm.
And then he also gets in the mindset where, okay, if the defense gives up points early, then that means the defense is going to have a bad day. So I got to put up 50. So he doesn't run the ball. He loves to throw. And that's, he's an ex-college quarterback, a really bad one. But he's been a coach's son and he's coached and that's all he's done. Like he's played football, been coaching football his whole entire life. He loves the passing game, man. Can he scheme up guys open in the passing game and get your quarterback, fantasy football stats that everyone will love? Yeah, he will. Can he balance an offense to make a deep playoff run? You have that outlier back when you guys had a big lead against San Francisco at halftime and you're about to go to the Super Bowl. Like that was a magical year for you guys. But besides that, like the 1 year's offense coordinator here, and then the 3 years as head coach, like, yeah, he refuses to run the ball. He'll give you reasons why, and you listen to him in the press conference, you go, okay, that makes sense. And then next week you come out and then they don't run the ball. There's another reason that makes sense. And then the next week it's another reason that makes sense. And then you look up at the end of the year and you have like 250 total rushes total, combined, and you have like 1,500 passes.
Yeah. That's the issue here in Atlanta. It's just been like, chaos amongst the fan base about Matt Ryan. Is it Matt Ryan or is it Dirk Cutter or is it, like it's
the defense and the offensive line, and you don't have any talent at running back.
Yeah.
It's the Jimmies and the Joes. It's right now. It's the Jimmies and the Joes. Yeah.
It's the trenches. Like, we've been saying this. Like, we don't have no pass rush. We don't have no pass rush. Our one tech guy is light on his behind. He's not big enough to move anybody. Because I remember watching the game last week. Tyler Davidson, this man got pushed. I'm talking about pushed 5 yards. It was like I think it was like 4th and 1, and then Kansas City got the first down. And I'm like, yeah, we need to get a bigger guy by Grady Jarrett.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you guys have had okay drafts. Like what has
coaching, players development, coaching, and then the scheme that we're running is just not right. We drafted, especially these corners. Like, we drafted man corners, but we have them play zone.
Yeah, we have a problem with that down here too until the bye week. And what Todd Bowles has decided to do, and you saw it, if you were looking for it against you guys, was to they're going to play too deep, and they're not going to let you throw it over their head, and they're going to play man underneath. Now Calvin Ridley went off. I mean, I said play too deep and double Calvin and make somebody else beat you. Like Gurley and Ito Smith are not going to carry the game for you. Okay, maybe they get 5 yards of carry or 6 yards of carry. Who cares? They're not going to get 6 yards to carry every time. You know why it averages 6 yards? Because there's going to be carries of 1 and 2 yards. So eventually it's going to be 2nd and 8, and they're going to have to throw the ball. Like, just don't let them beat you over the top. Take Ridley out of the game and make someone else on that team beat you. Someone. And live with the consequences. That's what they did against Minnesota. Like, they didn't put all their assets against stopping Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook had a 100-yard game. Yeah, he didn't get it till his last carry in the 4th quarter just to get 103. But you know who didn't have a good game? Thielen or Jefferson. You know who had a big game? Their tight end. 8 catches for like 89 yards. I mean, for a tight end in fantasy, that's awesome. You're super happy.
Exactly.
But for that being your leading offensive output guy, you ain't winning no games like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I can agree with you there. I can totally agree with you there on that one.
Yeah, so I feel for you with getting these big long corners that are press man, and then they keep playing this zone defense. Like, It's yeah. You know what we do? We like to blitz and play soft zone off it. So the quarterback has a hot read and the closest corner to a wide receiver is 7 yards away.
But at
So
least y'all got a defensive line though. We
we
ain't got no
do.
defensive line.
Yeah, we
Y'all
do.
got
We do.
Shaq Barrett. Y'all got Vitaville. Y'all got the Ndamukong Suh. Y'all good. We ain't got no. We just got Grady Jarrett. And
Yeah,
that's it.
we're happy with our roster, and we have been for a few years. Even when Cutter was here, like we've like you went up and down the roster and sort of putting potential to the younger players and you know and looking at the veterans and what they've done before, and you're like this is a playoff talented roster. Like it's not the best roster in the league or a top 5 roster in the league, but you should make the playoffs with these guys. And then consistently we'd go like 5-11. Or 6-10, and at the end of the year, you're scratching your head. And it really was until it had been so long since I've seen a tier 1 coaching staff. I forgot how important coaching was.
I'm telling you, man, y'all got Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians is a good coach, man. Y'all are gonna be fine. The question mark is what are y'all gonna do after Tom Brady? Like, we know Tom Brady's not gonna play 3 or 4 years. He may have another year under his belt next year, and then after that may be it. So I
it's
feel
gonna be fun this year for the Bucs in the draft because left tackle's open because even though Donovan Smith has had a pretty good couple of second half of the season, he'll be making $14 million unguaranteed. Tristan Wirfs is awesome. So left tackle's on the board, but we also need edge because Shaq Barrett's not under contract. JPP is, but then the guy behind them is Anthony Nelson, who just got his first sack ever last week.
And I think Anthony Nelson, I wanted him to be drafted by the Falcons because I like what I saw out of him in Iowa. Big, nice guy. Like he sets the edge well for you guys, especially in the run game. But just as far as pass rush, that's not his.
He doesn't have he doesn't have a toolbox yet. He doesn't have a toolbox of moves yet. But on the inside defensive line, Suh's a free agent. Will Golson's a free agent. So we need defensive line help, but we also could get quarterback. If after the big 3 go, which is Fields,
Lawrence and Zach Wilson.
Yeah, after Wilson, what if Mac from Alabama's there for the Bucs?
Another person. If y'all somehow end up potentially winning the Super Bowl, which I'm just hope not because I don't want another NFC South team outshining us. If y'all somehow go draft late in the draft in the first round, there is another guy from Memphis, Brady White, that I like.
Yeah, there's going to be a bunch of guys that we start to learn about once. For us Buck fans, we've been. If this was any other year, we've been talking drafts since the end of November. We've all the publications that follow the team have already put out draft specials. This is who the Bucs would look for in the first round. Now, we're going to be a couple of months behind. So yeah, I mean, there's going to be guys that I didn't even talk about the kid from South Dakota State.
Yeah, Trey Lance.
He might be there. So there's lots of directions, and you're right. That's a big question. Brady's playing next year for sure. He's under contract. He said he's going to. Every once in a while, you hear someone say Brady said he's going to play till he's 45. And I'm like, okay, well, does that mean 2 years or 3 years? So, I mean, we all sort of felt good when Josh Rosen decided to come here and just sort of sit on the practice squad and told everybody he wasn't going anywhere. And he did that for 13, 14 weeks. And then finally, I guess he learned all he wanted to learn and now has moved on. And that was a nice security blanket for Buccaneers fans because going into next year's training camp, you have a top 15 number 1 overall pick, that's going to get some preseason snaps and get a training camp behind, Tom Brady. And not for nothing, man, worse being worse. I know that he hasn't had a good year or career. A good career, but I'm telling you, with this roster, Blaine Gabbert can win 10 games with this roster easy.
And with Rosen, man, he never really got a fair shot, man. He's been passed on. He was in Arizona for a year.
Yeah.
And they drafted
Murray.
Kyler Murray. Then he went to Miami. Then Miami drafted Tua.
Yeah.
So now he's down there in Tampa Bay. Like, ain't nobody gave this man a fair shot.
Yeah. I think he went to San Francisco.
You know?
But yeah, like, I mean, worst to worst. I mean, we don't really talk about that right now because, like I said, we haven't been in the playoffs for 13 years, and we're so excited about the playoffs, and we're talking Super Bowl. But like in 2 years, if Tom Brady hangs it up and we have to start the season with Blaine Gabbert, like I'm okay with it. I really am. Like, it's, he's known. He played for BA in Arizona.
Yep.
And now he's learned from Brady, and Leftwich will mature as a play caller. So yeah, I mean, when it comes the time for the Bucs to sort of draft one of these young quarterbacks, and maybe a second or third rounder, and have him sit for a couple years, and then bring him in, whenever that young quarterback gets his start, BA won't be here anymore. Like, he doesn't want to do that.
So let me ask you this: who's your biggest threat in the NFC for this Super Bowl run?
You'd have to say the Saints. You just, because I know. I mean, look, man. If I see Sean Payton on the street, I'm gonna punch him in the face. Like
everybody, that's everybody.
Like, I'm gonna punch that dude in the face. Like,
I just want to body slam him.
Yeah, like Drew Brees is a fantastic human. We should all sort of strive to be emotionally centered as he is. But fuck that guy. I hate that guy.
This man is fake. Drew Brees is fake.
I don't like Drew Brees. And God, I can't believe. And what the hell, Jordan? What the hell is
Cam Jordan? Yeah,
Cam Jordan, dude. Yeah. I'm gonna spit in that guy's mouth. Like, I freaking hate the Saints. I hate the Saints. Okay,
hey, we all share the same hate.
Yeah, but and this is also kind of true with you. Our offensive line is a bad matchup for their defensive line. And they've had our number for a couple of years now. And, we were like,
that defensive line is just so good.
Yeah.
Dennis Allen has done a great, first off, Jeff Ireland and all those, they've done a great job acquiring those players, get a draft or free agency trade. But Dennis Allen has coached those guys up, and they're number one in run stopping. If you number one in run stopping, your defense, everything else take care of itself.
Yeah. They're tier one coaching staff, man. But you got Seattle, and I know their defense is turned around, but basically Seattle kind of meanders around for 3 quarters, and then the fourth quarter they, look at Russell Wilson and go, okay, go win it. So they're very beatable. I don't want to go obviously to Green Bay and have to play the Packers, but we put up 38 straight against the Packers after losing 10-0. They pulled Aaron Rodgers, like he just quit. And I know that's not going to happen in a playoff game, but we've seen the Bucs sort of handle the best of what the Packers had to offer, at least that week for the Buccaneers. The Rams are so up and down, and then we've talked about the NFC East, and it's going to be the Chicago or the Cardinals, and I don't fear any of those guys. So it's got to be the Saints. Do I think the Bucs can beat the Saints or has a better than puncher's chance against the Saints? Yeah, I do. Especially the way they're using Devin White, especially the way now they're using pre-snap motion. Now they're not running the ball every single time on first down. Now they're using play action more. I think they'll give the Saints a much better game. But of all those teams, say pick one, who has the best chance to beat us? It's the Saints.
Look, the only thing y'all got to do with the Saints is take Alvin Kamara out of the game. If y'all take Alvin Kamara out of the game,
I'm with you.
If y'all can stop the run and force Drew Brees to throw the ball,
we always stop the run. We've been we've been awesome in stopping the run for 2 years now. Like we led the league last year, and was leading it until we got out of the bye week, because they changed up, like I said, not putting so many assets just to stop the run, and they were leaving the back end out to dry. Because Todd Bowles were like, we got to stop the run first. Well, now he's like, okay, well, we'll slow down the run, and now we'll help the guys in the back end and not let them, have to be put on one-on-one and put on these islands so much because they were constantly getting burned. So it's a give and take there. But yeah, this seems very simple, but I'm with you. It's like you go 45, Devin White, you go see 47, don't let him breathe. Like if he goes to the bathroom, you're in the stall with him. Exactly. Yeah, and Devin White is fast enough and a good enough tackler to not have Kamara take over the game. Is Kamara going to slip a tackle or two? Yeah, he is. You know why? Because he's Gumby. That's what he does. You you hit his left side of the body, his whole left side just goes limp, and you slide off him. Like he's dead leg. He's fantastic. But as far as one-on-one open field, there's not a lot of people that I would give a better chance to stop him on a consistent basis than Devin White.
All right. Be Falcons fan for life, man. Look, man. You keep sitting up here talking about you want us to lose to secure a top five pick. Look, what pick? Who are you trying to pick in the top five?
I hope
please let me know in the comments. No. I'm gonna let him go on and say what he got to say. Who are you trying to acquire in the top five? Why do you want us to lose so bad that we need to get such and such player in the top five?
It's gonna be a quarterback.
Oh Lord, man,
we already know it's gonna be a quarterback, and they gonna tell every Falcon fan gonna be sad and mistaken too.
Exactly.
It's gonna be a quarterback.
All right, so appreciate the Travis joining us.
Yeah, excuse me, tongue twister. How everybody doing, man? Been kind of running a little late as still was on the clock. You know, Bills got to get paid first before anything else.
Now this rivalry right now, we're sitting at 28-26 Falcons. So y'all win this game, it's going to be 27-28.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why I said that I really want us to win this game to keep this rivalry in favor of us.
I don't think the Buccaneers have a winning record against. I think they only have a winning record against one organization. I think it's the Browns, and that's the only organization. You know, this isn't something a lot of out of market or people that don't follow the Bucs of the NBA, NHL, MLB, and NFL. Of all those professional teams, the Bucs have the worst winning percentage throughout their history than any of the Big Four.
It's start winning games to Tony Dungy start getting there. That's the issue. And Tony Dungy was only there from 96 to 2002.
Yeah. We had a couple of good years, like 79 to 81, and then we lost. The Buccaneers went 5-11 or worse for a decade in a row. Like that was, I was in high school at the time. So like I had to defend that to people like I live in St. Petersburg. It's right next to Tampa. It's like Oakland and San Francisco. It's right across the bridge. And there was no Buccaneer fans in high school. Why? Because we were terrible. I mean, terrible. So so that's why I think it's like at 319 is our overall like historic winning percentage.
I remember I posted something on Facebook earlier this season because it was Bucs fans just coming out of the woodwork because Tom Brady, and I troll him, and I got a picture of Leroy Selman. Most Buccaneers fans don't even know who that is. So I say, if you don't know who Leroy Selman is, then you ain't a real Buccaneers fan. And I ain't even say the man's name. I just took a picture of this man. It's a crop face picture. I say, if you don't know who this guy is, then you're not a Buccaneers fan.
Did people say it was Dewey? Did people say it was Dewey Selman?
They ain't even know talking about he was a running back one. I said, look, oh my goodness.
Was that Ricky Bell?
You don't know who Leroy Selman is? I said, oh my.
Well, okay.
He was Michael Strahan before Michael Strahan.
Oh yeah. Leroy Selman, he was obviously the first ever draft pick by the organization, their first Hall of Famer, first Pro Bowler, first everything. He will forever, when you make a Mount Rushmore of Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he will be the first one you name every time, and that's just the way it is and always will be. So. Plus, he was great in the area. He was the first AD for USF when they got their football team finally. And he died way too young. But he was one of those people that came from nothing, got everything, but never forgot where he came from. Just really super nice person, a great human. And if you don't know who Leroy Selman is and you're a Buccaneers fan, you're probably a Patriots fan.
Exactly.
So let me ask you this.
Sure.
You said the Bucs. You didn't understand how important coaching was.
Right. I forgot.
explain to these fans how important coaching is.
Sure. Let's see. I guess I'll start when Jameis got here and we had Lovie Smith, and his son was like the defensive backs coach, and it was just they were coaches that were needed to be coached. So they had to Lovie Smith had to teach the defense and teach the coaches how to coach their players, and then those coaches had to go coach their players. So, and then, Dirk Cutter got there, who I think is a very good offensive coordinator, besides, not deciding to run the ball, but he has no eye for talent whatsoever. Like he will start guys that don't need to start just because they do the one thing that he really wants. Like if you can catch a punt, you will be a punt returner forever. You don't have to run the ball back, because all he wants is you to not fumble the ball so his offense can go on the field.
Then you're talking about Dirk Cutter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to make sure I understand.
Yeah. So then he hired his best friend, Mike Smith, to run the defense. And talk about soft zone and not playing man. And I mean, you remember Julio Jones went for like 250?
Yeah.
And he sat there in the press conference and said, we ran 22 coverages against him. I don't know what we could have done. Like, no, you didn't. Because Julio came out and said, yeah, they played quarters all game. So when what you need is communicators and teachers is what you need. Like, be able to be great on the whiteboard isn't enough. Like, be able to have your friend who you were good with in Jacksonville and hey, we got ourselves an NFL team. Like, we're going to do it the way we've always wanted to. And it's not what it is. It's about experience. Yes, it's a little bit about talent, but mostly it's about having a system that's gone through the rigors and sort of the fire of a half dozen NFL seasons that's been tweaked. But then after that, you have to take that system. You have to find somebody who can teach it to the players. And then what's really important is you have to find your assistants and their assistants who don't need to be taught. They don't need to be coached how to coach. And when you get that together and you see it, you see the good staffs that always do it. And then when they lose too many, they start to lose. But New Orleans, you talked about their defensive core, Sean Payton, that continuity has been there forever. Andy Reid's, his staff is always getting pluck for people. Before this year, New England for 2 decades, always getting people plucked off their staff because they find the right people and communicate their message. The Steelers had 4 head coaches ever? Mm-hmm. Because they hire the right people. And it's just not enough to go, oh, when this offensive coordinator was with this team, they were 3rd in the league in yards. He must be a good offensive coordinator. It's got to go deeper than that. And I just don't think owners and GMs kind of understand that, because whoever's doing the hiring in organization, more likely they've never coached.
Exactly.
So that's it. It's really about communication and it's a little bit of experience, but being able in different ways, because everyone learns different. Everyone learns a little bit differently. Some people are visual, some people are audio, some people you got to walk them through. Some people will pick it up the first time. Some people you got to do it 10 times. It don't matter. Those guys, I'm sure Cutter said this because he said it in Tampa a lot. The guys are your guys. These are who the guys you have. Walter Payton's not walking through the door. These are our guys. You have to coach them up, and the teams that can end up being successful. Here's something. I'll finish with this. I know I'm rambling, but Patrick Mahomes is the best football player in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes is not Patrick Mahomes if he doesn't get picked by Andy Reid.
Bingo.
Period.
Bingo. Been saying that. And you know what? And I'm glad because I've been saying this too. You got to look at the body of work, not just at the head coach, but you need to look at his staff. And I've said this about, look at 2010 Green Bay defensive staff. They had Dom Capers, they had Kevin Green on there. They had some other good coaches on there. Those guys, they knew how to coach. That's why their defense was so good that year. and that's why they won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like you just and the problem with Mike Smith, I feel like he hired a lot of his friends and it made it like a country club, and these guys just they went out there teaching developing these players. Our player development was at an all-time low under Mike Smith.
Yeah,
because he hired friends instead of hiring what's going to work for the system so we can win games.
Yeah, you're giving your buddies jobs. You're giving the people that you coached with in your past, or it was like when we got Jay Hayes from the Bengals, like Jay Hayes and God, who was Marvin Lewis? Marvin Lewis and Dirk Cutter play on the same football team in Idaho, at the University of Idaho, or maybe it was Idaho State. I don't know. Marvin Lewis's best friend was Jay Hayes. Now, Marvin Lewis gets a head coaching job at Cincinnati. He hires his longtime friend, Jay Hayes. Jay Hayes didn't develop anybody along the defensive line. Cincinnati hated him. Well, he needs a job. So what happens? Marvin Lewis calls Dirk Cutter, who been longtime friends. And now Jay Hayes was the Buccaneers defensive line coach for a few years. Let me put it to you this way. When Dirk Cutter was here, Ronald Jones was a complete bust. Our guard Alex Kappa could not get on the field behind the guy that an announcer called Caleb Benenoch that he was a health hazard and liability. That's how bad he was. He was saying the Buccaneers coaching staff should be sued for liability because Caleb Benenoch's gonna get someone killed, and Kappa couldn't get on there. Donovan Smith was trending down. Ryan Jensen, the center, had his worst year. All these guys that we drafted weren't getting any better. Dirk Cutter leaves. BA comes in with his coaching staff. All of them got better. All of them started shooting through the roof. Kappa now, for some reason, probably because his name starts with a C, was leading in the Pro Bowl for guards, for votes. He's not that good, but he's you never hear his name, and that's all we kind of care about. Jensen's had his best year at center. Donovan Smith has turned the corner. Ronald Jones is now going to be 1,000-yard rusher. Like you see these guys who are kind of like stuck in mud, and you're like, why isn't anyone filling the potential that we talked about when we drafted them? And then you get a tier 1 coaching staff in there, and it just becomes obvious. You're like, oh, okay, it's the coaches.
Bingo, ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
We've been saying this, and come on, Speed Falcons fan, you talking about Patrick Surtain and Najee Harris? God, look, even if we win this game, we probably at worst we'll pick 11. Those guys are still gonna be on the board. I promise you.
First of all, let me say about that situation. You talk about a running back. Who drafts a running back in the first round these days? Like you could literally find somebody to be serviceable in your offense that's undrafted, as long as you have the offensive coordinator and the coaching staff that actually
really the offensive line.
Yeah,
everything behind the
basically, like you don't need to draft on running back in the first round or in the second round. Like I said, you could literally find somebody undrafted and be serviceable. But for as you saying about coaches, like that has been the ongoing thing about the Falcons this year. We are literally 0-8 in 1-score games. That basically just comes down to our coaching. A lot of those games basically was we lost on situational football. Not knowing when to call the right plays, or especially defensively. You're playing soft zone. You're giving the quarterback ample time in the pocket to make plays. Like I'm a firm believer in blitzing and get after the quarterback to force him to make a play with his receiver. Because if you get there and make him throw an errant throw, that's going to either lead to an interception, a fumble, or whatever. But sending 4 people and having your secondary play 8 yards off the receiver, just stay back. You're begging them to just throw a check down and let their receivers do all the work. Throw a 5-yard out and then let the receiver do the rest. Like it's easy. Like that's been the Falcons' issue this year. And a lot of people may say, "Oh, our team is bad, blow it up." It's like, no, you can't blow it up because you clearly see we have been competitive in most of those games, had huge leads in most of those games, but due to bad coaching, it ended up costing us those games, which ultimately lost us. Not having a winning season. Like I said, we are 0-8 in 1-score games, and if you add those 8, if those 8 games turn into wins, we are literally a 12-win team. That's how much coaching matters.
I remember that's I've heard that so many times from Dirk Cutter when he was here at Tampa. I'm like, oh well, we were 1-6 in one-score games. We need to turn that around. Well, that's the difference between a good team and a bad team, isn't it? Like, and that's every year. Like, if you look at most NFL games aren't blowouts. Like, most NFL games are one-score games. And if you're 8-8 or lower, then yeah, your record of one-score games is going to be bad. It's in today's NFL, if you can't manufacture pressure, if it's with your front four, or maybe you're running a 3-4 and it's your scheme, or maybe you have to bring a corner, or you have to bring a safety, you have to bring a linebacker. If you can't manufacture pressure and make the quarterback get off his first read, because it doesn't matter. Like, you could pick anybody in the NFL and put no one in front of him and put the quarterback in shotgun and put the receiver out on the edge and then put the cornerback 7 to 10 yards off and hike the ball and let the guy run with no one in front of him to try to sack the quarterback. He will get the ball out to the wide receiver and gain 3 to 5 to 7 yards. So you got to get the quarterback off his first read. It's not really about getting him off his spot. It's about getting him off his first read. And if that's not the way you approach defense, then either one, they got to have a really bad quarterback that and you can sort of slow play and win the game. But everybody who plays in the NFL can throw the ball. Like, they're the top 1%, 1% of quarterbacks in the entire world. They can all throw the ball. It's just when they get up, against playing these other 1% of people trying to stop them, they don't look as good. Like Matt Ryan, you give him time, he'll carve you up. Brady, Breeze, like any of them, pick them. Like, they will put up 600 yards on you. They just will. So if you don't have the pressure, you can't play defense in the NFL anymore. And the rules even, you can't touch receivers anymore. It's an unfair game for the defense. But to me, that's the only way you can even hang in football games.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, because I'm gonna kind of sound like a homer here. But you mentioned about it's hard for the defense, especially the secondary, to play defense. Hence, our first matchup of us playing Tampa, where I've seen several times your receiver Mike Evans pushed off on our cornerback, which gave him a decent, somewhat of an advantage to make the plays. And then, like, clearly on one drive where he pushed him a little hard and our corner reached back and he grabbed a face mask. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I know the face mask will get called, but if you clearly look at it, I'm like, if you saw the face mask there, as a referee, I'm looking at the referee like, if you saw the face mask, I know you see him clearly push off him, but you didn't throw the flag on that. Like, which I don't like in today's NFL is how you giving so much leeway for the offense, but you expect the defense to play perfect. They can't hit a person a certain way. They can't hit a quarterback a certain way. But doggone, the quarterback can do this or the receiver can do that. It's hard for anybody to play defense in today's NFL.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I agree 100%. And Mike Evans pushes off all the goddamn time. The Saints, like, it's
I like this guy.
He pushes up all the time. Like, he does. Okay, sometimes he gets called. He actually hasn't got called for it this year at all, I don't think. But he hasn't really been fed the ball like he has.
That's what happens when you got Tom Brady on your
but boy, you took the word right out my mouth.
That's what happens when you got Tom Brady. Tom Brady, they ain't throw no flags on Tom Brady like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, the way Mike Evans plays the receiver position is kind of like how the Saints DBs play their defensive back. Like, they will hold you every single goddamn play and dare the refs to call it every single time. It's I think at some point, like, I think Jenkins looks at the ref and like threatens to stab him if he throws a flag. Like, Jenkins will hang on you and pull on you and cheat every single play, but by the odds, like, he's gonna get away with it 8 out of 10 times. And if you can get off the field 4 of those 8 times with the Saints offense, I'll take it. But yes, Mike Evans cheats.
Wow. You know what? You gain my respect just for admitting that, because some folks be like, "No, it's not true. It's not true." Like, dude, like
No,
I mean, don't get wrong, because I'm a type of fan. I'm a fan like that too. If I see a player of mine doing something I know that's against the rules, I will admit that okay, he shouldn't be doing that, but they giving him leeway. But
yeah,
I mean,
and I'll tell you, like Leonard Fournette didn't make that first down. It wasn't even close.
wow,
That's crazy. Hey, but
wow.
at least
But-
you're honest.
Yeah, I mean, that's a Tom Brady, like that's probably the most Tom Brady call I've seen as him as a Buccaneer. Is where it's just like, you know what? Like if you're a Falcons fan, you look at that and be like, the NFL just wants Tom Brady to get to the playoffs, and because he's going to pull in more ratings, and that's why the refs are cheating for him. Like that wasn't even close. Like
It really wasn't.
kudos to Fournette for getting there to make it look close. I mean, he had to fight for it, but it was short. But we would have went for it on fourth and probably got it anyway. But it's just those things. And I will tell you what, from being a Buccaneers fan who has constantly gotten shit on by bad calls because we get the crappy refs every single week because we're a crappy football team. Like you don't get the best referee crew. As a Buccaneer fan, you never get them. And you'll get one primetime game a week, and it's Thursday, and they're not the best referee crew because they're saving them for Sunday for the Pats Chiefs game. So it's been nice to see these games where there's not 22 penalties called, with 14 holdings between the two teams with these, tier one referee crews. It really is a totally different game when you play with different refs. Like when you continually get the upper echelon of referees, it's a much better game to watch. It's just a better game. It just flows better. But if it's Jets Giants week 15, like,
oh god,
it's gonna be 22 holding penalties. It's gonna be 5 hands to the face. It's gonna be 9 pass interference calls. It's just that's kind of what's sort of woken me up to this Brady effect. Is this sort of like we talk about coaching and tiers and how important it is, but really like the refs that we get now just make the game more fun to watch.
Let me tell you something. We definitely know about the Brady effect. I remember the year after he was injured for the season, and the very next year they were playing against the Baltimore Ravens, and Terrell Suggs got pushed towards the ground, and he fell next to Brady's knee, and Brady hopped up and was pointing at his knee to the referee. The referee didn't see it at all, but he pointed at his knee, and the referee just threw the flag, and I was just looking like, how do you pat? You didn't even see what happened, but you just called a flag because Brady pointed at his knee. Like, come on, dude, don't do that.
Let's look at the Jacksonville Jaguars and Patriots on AFC Championship game. Like they literally they pretty much penalized the Jaguars to death enough for the Patriots to get back into the game. They won the game, and then you see the referees up there cheering with the Patriots. Doggone after they scored a touchdown. Like,
they're shaking hands. They're shaking hands in the end zone. Yeah. I can't. As a fan, I can honestly say this year that I can't remember. I know there is, but I can't remember what it is. I remember having the feeling the Bucs getting jobbed on a call, but I can definitely. I know that there's been a lot of calls where it's been like, I'll take it, like like the Fournette, or a pass interference or a roughing the passer because someone jumps up and then their thumb brushes Brady's helmet. And it's 15 yards and automatic first down. It's like it's a whole new world up in front, guys. I gotta say I like it.
Well, let me say, I just wish Patriot fans would admit to that they was living off the fact that they had Brady on their roster and he was the golden boy for the league, and that's why they got a lot of leeway. Because clearly, prime example, that the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs. I know a lot of people talk about the holding. I mean, the offside penalty, but I'll look at more of
the camera was turned to a weird angle,
right.
And I didn't see D4 outside. I did not.
Not all of that. Remember the roughing the passer penalty they called in that game, which he clearly hit Brady's shoulder pad.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't hit across his head. He hit his shoulder pad, and they called the roughing the passer penalty. They kept the drive alive.
Yeah, I really used to hate those calls too, but now I'm not. I'm okay.
Oh, now you all right with it now? Oh, man.
It's all cool.
Right. Let's go ahead and get to the predictions for this Sunday's game. Ren, we'll start with you, man. What you predict for this game?
I think the Falcons played their Super Bowl last week. I think they left it all on the field with the Chiefs. Now the professionals.
Yeah, Super Bowl is kind of cliche-ish because they have a lead and then blew it. Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, I know everyone's going after Koo, but I mean, the cornerback dropped the ball, like game over.
They really ain't coming out the Koo. They going out the Matt Ryan.
Why? What'd he do?
He ain't scoring enough points.
What did he do? What did he do? Drive him down the field with less than 2 minutes to tie the game? Is that what he did? Anyway,
if anything, I blame the offensive coordinator because we got an interception off Mahomes and was deep in our own territory. And typical Dirk Cutter, he called a two-man max protection play action pass, which you had one dude running deep downfield on a double move, and then your tight end running the comeback route, which was just. Oh my God!
Well,
yeah, but Matt Ryan played better than Pat Mahomes in that game, and we have people in our own fan base, mind you, say, "Oh, Pat Mahomes played better than Matt Ryan because he won the game." I'm like, but he threw a pick and could have thrown 3 picks if
really
2 of our defenders didn't drop him.
Yeah. Well, my prediction is I think that Atlanta's going to come to play, but I think the Bucs are going to jump out on them early, and I think that they're going to start looking for tee times by the halftime. And I'm not picking on Atlanta. Like, I've seen the Bucs do this for decades. Where we're going to go out there and give it our all. We're going to play spoilers, and then halfway through the second quarter, they're down by 17 points, and they don't. So I think I think that the Falcons were too emotionally invested in that Chiefs game, and they don't really, in their heart of hearts, give really 2 shits about this game at all. Dirk Cutter's very worried about the pressure. He's going to max protect again, which means Devin White's going to shoot the gap, which makes a long day for Matt Ryan. You only have really one weapon that can change the game. And that's Calvin Ridley, and he probably had one of his best days ever and still lost. And the defense is, the Bucs offense is really clicking right now. And I can't, look at the Falcons defense and who are you going to take away? Brady's finally meshing with all the receivers and all his playmakers. And so who are you going to take away? I just don't think the Falcons are deep enough in the secondary to even come close to taking away 2 or 3 of those guys. So unfortunately, I think it's going to be a blowout. I'm looking like 38-17.
Travis,
I'm not gonna go that far. Even though I hate to admit it, Matt will end the season still not able to beat Brady in his career, which I hate that with so much of a passion. But I feel like I would not say that it'll be that. I'll probably say Tampa will win 27-21.
right. King?
I'll give my predictions in a minute, but first, let me get a shout out to Mad Mike in the comment section. Y'all, I'm his hero. He's lying. He doesn't like me. He's a clown. I'm going with
King cash and receipts.
Gotta give out the receipts, man. Gotta give them out. They want them. Why not, right?
Yeah, I'm with you. Hey,
I'll go with close game. I'll take this one close. Falcons lose last possession, 28-24.
I guess the Mika Parsons. I guess we playing for the Mika Parsons Bowl. I see.
Of course, bro. But no, bro, you gotta keep it real. They're gonna go in there. They're gonna play good. I think the Falcons are gonna play good this game. They're gonna try to keep them from not winning, but I just don't think we have the weapons to seal the game, and that's been shown all year. So why not?
All right. Well,
John gets so upset.
I'm not upset.
He's like, God.
No, I just don't like predicting and us losing. It just,
Yeah,
as a fan,
I
it's messed
know.
up. But as a
I
content
know.
creator, it just, you gotta be real with yourself.
Yeah.
Like, we losing this game, Falcons fans. I just don't see us winning it. Like, if we win it, I'll be so excited. Just to see these, just to drink the tears of the people who want us to tank.
All right.
But we're gonna end up losing this game. I say 28-24. I think we're gonna keep the game close, but I just think we ain't gonna have enough to just score.
What y'all won't do is score 31 points and a half again.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen, man.
No,
that ain't happening.
No, it won't happen. It's only happened 2 weeks in a row, but whatever. No, it won't happen. It's just, honestly, I think this is going to be a bloodbath. All Todd Bowles has to get his defensive scheme right coming out the gate, and if it does, it's going to be a bloodbath. Like, I think the game would have been a lot closer the first one if you guys wouldn't have handed us a first down and taken away your first down on offense. Like, the offensive and defensive peddlings on the first drive of each sides of the ball getting out there really set the tone. And like, I've seen it 1,000 times, and that's what bad teams do. Not historically bad teams, but this year it's a bad team. That's what they do. They beat themselves early, and then you try to crawl and fight and keep yourself in it. And oh, I'm sorry. That was the Detroit game. I apologize about the size of the ball and the penalties. Yeah, we were down 17-0 to you. What am I thinking? Never mind. Scratch that totally. Bucks win. Sorry.
All right. So, there you have it, you guys. This is our last game of the season. I know Sunday night is gonna be a lot, but Monday morning we know it's gonna be a parade down Peachtree because we know this coaching staff gonna be gone. But anyway,
Boy.
Hey, before we kind of saw who you guys like. Who do you want? Who are the fan base looking at as far as head coach? I know a lot of it's going to depend on.
God, please don't ask about the fan base.
The fan base. The fan base want. This is what they want. Let me tell you. They want a new owner. They want Tyler Perry to own the team. All right,
I'm leaving alive.
I'm serious. Look, they want Tyler Perry to own the team. They want Louis Riddick to come in to be the GM.
Uh-huh.
They want Eric Bieniemy to be the head coach.
Yeah.
They want us to bring Mike Vick as an OC. They want us to keep Raheem Morris as a defense coordinator, and then they want the old national coach to be the special teams coordinator.
You forgot they want T.I. to be team president.
And put the cherry on top. They want the girls at Magic City to be cheerleaders.
Okay, I got a question. I'm not trying to start anything here. It's just something that I just kind of like the way I've heard you guys talk about the fan base, like treat Matt Ryan and all that, and I'm like, what does he do wrong? I mean, yeah, he's a goofball, and one time he took a picture in a woman's bra. I get it. It's hard to be proud of that.
That's actually a false picture.
That's Photoshop.
That's Photoshop.
No, I was there. I saw it. No, okay, but like. But do you think? But what you said for about like Tyler Perry and Michael Vick and do you think Matt Ryan would get more slack if he wasn't white?
Yes, we would say
yes. We would say yes.
Yes, that's where we at.
And thank you for not taking that the wrong way.
No, man, it's true.
So we say it every day. We say it every day. That's why we're not even.
Let me tell you something. Dwayne Haskins. These folks capping for Dwayne Haskins to be to replace Matt Ryan. I'm saying, like, y'all are desperate. It ain't even about desperate. It's just y'all are just ignorant.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I mean, well, we still got people that stump for Jameis down here. Like,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, like Jameis Winston it was the defensive fault, the receiver's fault, the running back's fault, the coach's fault, it was BA's fault, it was Cutter's fault. Like it was everybody's fault but Jameis's fault. But yeah, so we've got that delusional those things going on down here too.
Here's
also
my
got
thing
Florida
about
State fans down there too, man. That's also Bucks fans. So
Yeah.
that's the reason why.
here's the problem about Matt's situation though. It's like with Matt really haven't got a fair. He never really got a fair shake in this in Atlanta as it is because he came out the Vic. Don't get me wrong,
Right.
Vic was electrifying to watch.
Yeah,
but we wasn't winning games if we're being honest. People don't realize that we've actually had a better defense during the Vic time in Atlanta than Matt has ever had while he was in Atlanta. But people think that if you had a running quarterback, somebody that can run and escape the pocket, oh my God, that's going to lead to you just winning these games. Not realizing people like Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson get sacked more than he does.
Yeah.
It's crazy when you look at it.
Going back to the coaching. Go ahead. What you say, King?
It's crazy why this fan base don't like him. His first pass was a touchdown.
Exactly.
Like, how can you not like somebody like that? From that day on, it's like he's a quarterback. He can throw a touchdown. Like his first NFL pass. You can't beat that.
You can't ask for nothing better than that. But yeah, going back to the coaching. I've told you on record the last time you was on the Dunn's favor. I told you I like Don Martindale as the head coach.
Yeah, he's the DC of Baltimore, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I've looked at either him or Rex Ryan as our head coach. Me personally, I feel like we need a head coach with attitude.
You just say Rex Ryan?
Yes, I did.
Okay, you can you're allowed to go now. Like that's.
We can. I can. I don't mind, but I understand people feel like Rick. I understand people feel like Rick. People feel like Rex Ryan. He's a good coach. He gets results though.
Yeah, their defense.
He got results. Okay. I might be talking out of turn, but okay.
What's your opinion on Rex Ryan then?
I think Rex Ryan is a player's coach, and if he doesn't have the veterans, I don't think he can coach. I think he can inspire. He can't develop. He can inspire, and that's what he did That's what he did with the Jets. But then when he had to get down to the X's and O's and actually out execute and scheme somebody, he couldn't do it. I think the
biggest issue for Rex Ryan is he didn't know much about offense, plus no quarterback either. That was a downfall in the Jets part, but he always kept the defense at least top tier or at least above average. Atlanta's defense has never been above average, and him coming to Atlanta with a quarterback that's actually here, like a legit quarterback, they could possibly change the fortunes.
Yeah, and an above average defense would have won a lot of these games that we lost.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, average defense, that could be a Super Bowl for us right now.
Yeah,
fact, that would have been a Super Bowl.
Yeah, we went there with a 27 ranked defense, so that should tell you something.
Yeah, who's heading up your GM search?
Right now they said Anthony Robinson. He's with the college scouting department for us. And then we also interviewed Rick Smith. So those are the only two guys right now that are rumored.
Who's interviewing them?
Arthur Blank and Rich McKay.
Okay, yeah. How do you guys think about Rich McKay?
I think he's done a fantastic job here in Atlanta. Okay. He's the president of football operations. He helped build a stadium downtown, just like he built y'all's, in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
But I think he's doing a real good job.
Yeah. He's done. Yeah, he did a real good job here. He built the team that took us to the Super Bowl, put us in salary cap hell.
Yes.
No, he did. He did.
At least he got y'all a ring.
At least I got y'all a ring. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. That's just the downside to it. And then he went there, and he wasn't your GM. He made you president of football operations, which is a better spot for him. Because he went all in, and we paid for it for a couple years after. But again, we got the ring. But yeah, I've always liked Rich McKay. I was just wondering what the general feeling was about him, because he's been there a while, and if someone's been there a while, eventually the finger starts getting pointed at them.
Yeah,
when things aren't going well.
But the thing is, as soon as he got here, he modernized his team. And made us like business wise. He made us a respectful organization.
Brought
Before
some
that, like
stability to it.
yeah, he brought stability here to this franchise. Like yo, we got Vic, yo, you know. But thing is, when we start winning games more under the Matt Ryan era and everything, so
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I do not wish good luck to you guys.
Oh, wow.
hey, I don't wish good luck to y'all neither. But hey,
Thank you very much.
It's mutual. But appreciate you coming on and let everybody know once again where they can find you.
Sure. My pseudonym is at Ren Daxt, REN_DAXT. That's on Twitter. That's the best place to find me. Don't look for me on Facebook. Facebook is dead and it's full of stupid fans, as I'm sure all you guys know. If you hear a stupid comment about your team, it came from Facebook.
Have you seen Twitter lately?
Yeah, that's true. But I do a show called the Pewter Cast. You can see behind me. Me and a co-host, we go 4 times a week. If you guys are interested, anybody in chat, we as soon as it hits 000, we go live. And it's a call-in show and a video show. We drop the link in chat. We StreamYard like you guys do, and we drop the link and we bring people in and we talk about the game. So anybody here in the chat room is welcome to come talk or talk crap if you win, or come congratulate us if you lose. And we'll see you then. And then during the week we do some other shows. And like I said before, we have over 500,000 downloads and over 500 shows on our belt. And you can find us on all podcasting platforms as well as YouTube, unfortunately Facebook, Twitter, and our website, PewterCast Live.
All right, appreciate you coming on. Everybody who watched this show live, appreciate y'all watching it live. If you're watching this at a later time, let us know what your predictions of the game going to be this Sunday. Travis, appreciate you coming on, man. As you know, you always welcome to the platform, man.
I appreciate it, man. Sorry for the lateness.
Right.
I had some trucks to fix.
You good, man. If you're watching this, if you're new to the channel, you already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this content out, and to Atlanta Sports Fanatics, and hit us up in the comment section. As always, come holler at your hometown sports podcast.
And always remember to love yourself and don't be a hater like Mad Mike.
Oh.
Ooh, wow. The shot at the
head. All right, you guys. So we about to go ahead and end the show. Don't forget to watch the post game with King's Realm with your boy King later on tonight.
Yes, so, we'll be there. Post game. Hawks up right now. Actually, tied. They tied. Sorry.
Oh, man.
End the live. End it. End it now. End it now.
All right. Y'all have a great evening, man. See y'all later. Y'all be safe.